I didn't even hit record. Well, I didn't hit record until like 15 minutes in. It was bad. So I've been bad at that. So
Trying to think if I
do,
ate today.
do you guys do you guys know each other, Rashana?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you said it as though you knew him.
I mean, I know.
No.
Say it again.
Y'all can see me now?
Yes, we can.
Cool.
Yes, we can.
What's up?
Not much. You're in what part of the country?
I'm in
Atlanta.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I assumed, but I didn't want to.
Yeah.
Still wanted to ask. So we're gonna kick this off as soon as I find my notes. Let me see. Kick this off. If you do have headphones like earpods or AirPods, I don't know if they're AirPods or AirPods. It does help the sound quality.
Earbuds. I do.
Yeah.
Give me 1 second.
We should make sure the assistant includes that in the invite.
Absolutely. You gotta. It's like you can't make assumptions these days as a boss. As a boss, you gotta be like. You know?
Are you gonna put me on a group chat with the new assistant?
I could do that. I could do that.
Okay.
I can do that. That's fine. I need to get another assistant, but she's good. She's really good. She's not cheap. She's $25 an hour. Sheridan now is paying like $15 an hour. But she works for her money, which I like.
You don't feel like you wasting it.
Right.
Well,
Yep. Are you home right now?
Me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
I literally just walked in from
Say, it was an echo
All
a little
right,
bit.
cool.
Yeah,
Let's
so I
do
literally
this.
just walked in from looking at a property.
Oh. All right. This no, I was about to start it off.
I was about to say it is not even recorded. Hold on.
It is recording.
Oh, it is recording.
Here we go. This is the Oglesby and Scott Show. My name is Charles Oglesby with Miss Rashana Scott, Flipping in Heels, the Realtor of the Year, the Realtor of Chicago. Welcome, Miss Rashana. How you been?
I'm feeling great. How are you?
I'm good. It's another episode of the Oglesby and Scott Show, the original Black Wealth podcast. We've been doing this for a long time. This is episode number 177. So today we have a special guest by the name of Brian Thomas. He is a real estate investor and fleet owner out of the Atlanta, Georgia market. He also is the Morehouse grad, dual sport alum, and just a dude out here killing it. If he mastered the trucking business, I can't even get my truck off the ground. I got some questions I got to ask him. So welcome to the show, man.
Hey, what's up? Thank you for having me.
So the first question.
You're not gonna ask. My first question is, did you get your student loans paid for?
Did I get them paid for?
By Robert Smith.
Yeah.
No. Oh, no. I came out before that. I wish I came out before that happened.
But being an athlete, you got a scholarship of some sort. That's cool.
Yep, got a scholarship.
So, we always ask people who they are and where they're from. We kind of discussed a little bit about that, but can you expand on that for the listeners?
Brian Thomas, I'm from Decatur, Georgia. For those who not from Atlanta, never been from Atlanta, that's the east side. Or where Gucci Man claims or Future, all those people like that. But yeah, that's where I'm from, born and raised.
Dual sport athlete. What sports are those?
Dual sport, football and baseball.
Okay. What was it like being at Morehouse? I went to PWI in California, way different. What was your college experience like?
Oh man, I had a blast. I really feel like I wouldn't be who I am without it. I don't know how you guys' upbringing was, but I learned who I was by going to the institution as far as being a Black man and what I'm capable of. And I think that's a big part And I think it's a missing part also of usually the downfall of our communities. You know, we don't know what we're capable of.
That's so true, especially a college like Morehouse. I look at a lot of alum that come out of there go on to do big things. I've seen dudes go to Harvard Law. I've seen dudes like Ed Bolden killing it in real estate. He's a Morehouse alum. So it's like a
Yeah,
lot of
I saw him this week. I think he just bought an apartment complex or something.
he buys an apartment complex like every other day. We need to get him on the show,
yeah, I need to chop it up with him.
man. But when did you first get into real estate? What did that look like for you?
You want me to keep it honest? Like which version of it y'all want?
We like honesty, man. We don't want the PC version. Keep it honest.
Right, cool. When I first moved, well, when I graduated from college, my dad he had rental properties, so that's the first thing that turned me on to even looking into real estate. I thought that was like a cool way to make some extra money that you ain't got to do nothing for really. Was rental properties. But anyways, I moved into one of the houses that was vacant for like a year, and it just so happened to be like my parents' first house. So me and my dad renovated that house on our own cheap budget, and I started noticing Caucasians in the neighborhood too, going for walks. 2 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night. And when I was little growing up, this was, I ain't gonna say it's the roughest area, but if you ever been to Atlanta, it's one of the, Atlanta is a city where you can make a turn, one turn and be in a rich neighborhood, a nice neighborhood, then make one other turn and you might get robbed. And, that's where we at. That's where that house is located at. So I started researching why they were coming over there and what was going on. And I'm like, bro, I can't let these people come take the neighborhood and not get a piece of the crumb or a piece of the pie. So I started doing my research on how to get into it.
So that home that they were moving into that neighborhood, what did you guys do with that property?
We painted the bricks. We cut down a tree in the front yard, repaved it, had a little sidewalk leading up to the front porch. We put down some tile in the house. We took all the carpet up, and we actually like rented the little, I guess the grater to resurface the hardwood floors in the house. Because my mom was like, she ain't seen the hardwood floors in the house since I was a little boy, and I'm 29 now. So it had been covered up in carpet for over 20 plus years. So, I learned how to do a lot of stuff, painting it. I even bought this wallpaper to make it look like brick because I like that little look on the wall to make it look like I had a loft downtown or something. So I redid one wall with the wallpaper and it was nice. Yep.
Did you keep it? Did you flip it? Did you turn it into a rental property?
It's still a rental property now. Actually, the tenants moved out probably about 3 weeks ago, but the lady kind of left it in bad shape. So I was actually over there helping him yesterday, kind of get it back together.
In terms of like the numbers and equity, because they're moving into the neighborhood, probably pushing up the values. When you guys did that work on your property, did you guys kind of raise the value of that property on par with the market?
Well, we haven't checked, but for instance, put it like this. When I first moved in that house, they were renovating houses and selling them between 180 to 200,000. We talking about houses that's only probably like 1,500 square feet. Now those same houses are going for like in the threes.
Wow.
Like 310, 315 easy. So it's crazy. But yeah,
nice.
my pop still own it. So I don't know what he gonna do. I don't know if he gonna pass it down or what are his plans are though. So we'll see.
Okay, and so that was your first entrance into real estate, and so that inspired you to do other deals?
Yeah, and this Asian guy, he renovated a house right across the street, and he was nice enough one day just to talk to me. Because, I had been looking on YouTube, but that's the thing, like, that's missing in our community. It's not enough people to actually do it, to look up and be like, hey, man, such and such down the street. Hey, he into this. Let's go ask some questions. We got people that live down the street that play ball, or they sell drugs. That's what we got. it's easy to go find out how to do that stuff. So that guy was nice enough. He piqued my interest even more, and he reminded me real estate has created the most millionaires. So I made it a goal of myself, to really get into this and find out what requirements or where I need to start off at.
What else did he tell you besides that? Did he give you some other tips?
Well, of course, having great credit, because the way he went about doing his flips was through a line of credit. So he had a line of credit up to $1 million, and I thought about it. If you break that line of credit up and you still use lenders and you only need the down payments to get these houses started, you can do a lot of them at one time. And the man was telling me he had flipped 50 houses in 1 year. I mean, and what's the average amount you probably profit? About 30, right? Is that what y'all seeing too?
You said about 30 grand on a flip?
Yeah, between 20 and 30 on average.
It depends on the market. But I would say that's probably an average number.
Rashana
in most markets. Way more than that.
Rashana controls the whole market. She controls the buying side and the sell side.
What state are you in, or city?
I'm in Chicago.
South side Chicago.
So how is it up there?
I mean, the same way it is everywhere, right? Deals are difficult to come by. But depending on your resources, your network, and how diligent you are, you can find some great deals. So like a flip that I'm doing right now has a 6-figure spread on it, and the next one will have that also.
Well, hey people, I'm just giving y'all the low ball.
But it's because and I said this I think on another podcast or something, so many podcasts. You pass up on good deals to go after the great deals, right? So like you said, the 30,000 to 40,000, like that's cool. But if if it's going to take the same time and effort for you to make more on a project, if you have that in your area, in your market, then that's, obviously you're going to go for the bigger one. But also, our houses were built like 100 years ago. So am I going to take, 4 to 5 months to do a complete gut and maybe make, X amount of dollars, or, take 2 months and do maybe a cosmetic rehab and, maybe not work as hard, but then make a little less. So, it just depends on your market. But anyway,
I need to look in Chicago.
But I think it depends on how quick
where it's
you're
at right
flipping
now.
them. I think it depends on how quick you're flipping them too. Because if you're making 30 grand every 30 days, right, or every 60 days, and you have the capacity to do multiple projects, like that's still, a win-win.
There's still money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man, but I need to see, like down here, to make 100,000, you either need to renovate a house like in Buckhead, and it's gonna cost you to even get into the area, or you need to buy some land and do a whole new construction. I really, that's the only way I think you'd make 100K down here, unless you come in, you got all the money in your pocket.
But 30,000 times 50 flips is 1.5 million. So that's not a bad year.
and I'm giving you the low end, so I'm guaranteeing you, he might have had some 80s and some 90s in there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nice. So he told you about, like you said, credit, and I guess just leveraging different ways to invest. Were you ever were you ever involved in terms of actually going to any of those projects and actually seeing the process, or what did that relationship evolve into?
Well, it just really evolved into whenever he was across the street coming to check on that particular property, me just going over there and talking to him. Really, we never met up again, I need to see if I even have his number in my phone before, but we never met up again. But that little bit stuck with me. It'll probably stay with me for life.
So before I ask you the next question, one of the things that I think is interesting is, and this is for the listeners, is if you have a house that is in an area that's being gentrified or redeveloped, bring it on par with the market. Don't just sit there and they're over here making it look all fresh and new when you just letting your house just look like it is. So that's just a tip, I would say. Where did you go next? What did your next deals look like? Or what did your first deal look like after you fixed up the family home?
My first deal was a rental property that I still have right now. It was a townhouse. And I actually met the guy that sold it to me at work. I used to work at Enterprise. I worked there for 4 years in that management program. But I actually met my contractor that I use now at Enterprise as well. But he sold me this property, him and his wife. It was a good deal. But the issue was he called himself a contractor. The issue was when we started working on the property, it was coming together well, but when we got down to the flooring, I don't know who he hired or who he subbed this to, but they did we did vinyl planks. They're supposed to lock. They were like the actual grooves were showing in between the planks. So when I let him know that I know he wasn't doing it right, he kind of just disappeared. So I learned my lesson of how to pay contractors from that. You know, he got off where he took more money than what he done from the work that he had done. I learned a lesson. But
how were you paying him versus how you should be paying him?
Basically now, before I meet up with my contractor and we go over stages of how we'll get this work done. And he may get an X amount, and then we say, all right, cool. You did this, here's your check. We move on to the next round. And we just keep doing that till we get all the way through. Mm-hmm. Compared to, all right, I'm gonna give you half of the money now. Yeah. And see, we get to the next point where you need some more money.
Right. Yeah. Petway Estates will tell you to not do the half up front and half later. Yeah. What were the numbers in that deal? Purchase price, value after the repair.
The purchase was 29 and we put 12 in it. I haven't had it appraised, but stuff is over there selling for like 85 and 90 now.
Nice.
And that was 4 years ago.
And how much are you renting it for?
$1,200. 2-year lease.
What was I gonna ask you? I forgot I was gonna ask. Go. Oh, I was gonna ask you how you finance that. How'd you get the money to buy it and to rehab it? That's what I was gonna ask you.
Okay, so let's say my life wasn't always where it is now.
You was in them streets. You can just say that.
Yeah. I had some stuff saved up, so that's where they came from.
All right, we won't dig into that too much deeper. They be listening to these podcasts.
Yeah.
Somebody they be listening.
Hey, you never know.
All right, so we got our first rental. Still got the family house. What did your career look like from there?
As far as in
real estate. Mm-hmm.
From there, I learned about hard money. Okay, because I knew another mistake that I think a lot of people make is we think we got to have all the money. Mm-hmm. In my head, I just feel like you just need to get in the ball game to get to the point where you do have all the money. So I learned what they needed. Going back to what the Asian guy taught me with the credit, I learned the amount of money I need to save up, and also what category of flip it will put me into, depending on the down payment. So that was the next stage. So I got that house in 2019, and I had it ready basically Christmas of 2019, and then the pandemic happened. The pandemic, it was bad. It was bad. The pandemic happened. Somebody broke into the property while I was up on the contract. Stole they stole the stove and the fridge. We had hardwood floors all the way through. So water leaked, flooded, and we had to resurface the whole floor. The deal fell through. They bagged out because the pandemic, and they were, job security went up in the air at that point. I ended up selling the house finally, probably like another month later. And that went to, I got 2 flips and 3 empty lots now. going right now.
Wow.
So I got 3 new constructions and 2 flips going.
The numbers on that flip, even through the pandemic, did you still do pretty well?
Uh, I did pretty decent, but after the cost of getting stuff sanded back down, like repairing the floors, and then the inspection kind of threw some more curves because with the wood being wet, for some reason the inspector said I had mold up in the house, but it really wasn't mold. It was just, what just happened. So I would probably lost another 10,000 from profit that I could have had in my pocket.
What kind of lessons do you learn from something like that? Because I mean, I think the pandemic affected a lot of us differently. We've been seeing everybody running it up. I haven't heard anybody who was doing well to the pandemic and got smacked. So what did you learn from that?
Well, the pandemic really made me step away from my job. I mean, really, my plan was to leave in like October. So it also told me I did the right thing because I got money coming in other ways. So I kind of maximized like my 401k at work. So it's funny. I think I took it up like 20%. My check going in there, and I walked away with a good amount of money to run up, some good stock money after I got to get my money and then transfer it myself. What I would learn from when that happened, one thing when they broke in the house, if you don't need to actually put the appliances in the house, I mean, it's cool to do it for the pictures. Don't do that. Give these folks an allowance. Take your pictures and take your appliances back to storage. I definitely learned that. But that it was kind of messed up.
Yeah,
but it's cool. It's part of the
ballgame. Yeah, I've definitely experienced that. Unfortunately, I've had property on the market. Like in Chicago, it is so common, especially like if it's a house that comes with the AC unit, right? Because the AC is in the backyard. So it's so common for it to be installed either the day before closing, the day of closing, or after closing. In some neighborhoods, definitely the appliances thing, right? Do you put the appliances in or do you not? Yeah, I've exactly what you said. I have dealt with the electric, like so the guys were trying to break in, so they cut the electric, which cut the sump pump off, and we had a horrible rain that weekend, and the basement flooded. Yes, been there, done that. So I get it. Yeah, flipping, and like that's the other side, right? That's a new one, right? Because they cut the electric trying to cut the power, right, to cut the alarm, and not knowing like the alarm is like Wi-Fi, so the alarm went off anyway, and the damage just ended up, it was just horrible, and ended up which was crazy. This property that I was flipping was in the hood. When we finally put up a wrought iron gate, had no more issues anymore. But this property had got broken into like 3 times.
Yeah, they had, it was twice at that house. The first time, these people took the mattress and the nightstands. And I'm like, well, hopefully who did this really needed a bed or somewhere to sleep. Like, that's how they took like the first time. Then the second time, it was messed up because I had some agents actually showing somebody the house, and they walked into it.
So it's unfortunate because I've obviously been robbed a few times. Got jacked for the HVAC, got jacked for the hot water tank, got just a squatter living in the house. What keeps you motivated? What keeps you going? Because it's like a lot of times we're doing this for the community, right? Yeah, money matters, but we're also like trying to create better communities for our people. How do you stay motivated? That's for both Roshana and you.
Well, she can go first. Ladies first.
You're not interviewing me. We interviewing you.
All right. Let me get my answer together. What keeps me motivated?
All right, I'm gonna go. Regardless of what happens, the end goal, right? The end result is the same. So if you started out in that project and your intention was to flip it, then your intention is to still flip it and to still sell it. Like, so for me, it's like the goal is still the same, regardless. So I'm hoping at that time, I'm hoping there's room in the budget, right? That's the reason why you don't want to have, budgets, flips with small margins, because things can happen, right? So being able to have that room to allow for that error. But what keeps you motivated? I think you learn from your mistakes, right? When you move on. So like I said, that house got broken into 3 times. But once we put up a gate, then we had no more issues. So moving forward, next time I'm flipping in the hood, then the first thing that's going up is a gate.
Right.
A 6-foot gate at that. But not to say that's always going to stop people, but I'm just saying that was a lesson that I learned. You got your answer?
My main motivation is I know all this stuff is going to lead to a lifestyle that I want to live, and it's going to lead to something I can pass down. That's my main motivation.
Yeah, I could see that, and I think it's cool because you do put the systems in place to prevent that, and then also you don't want like the small few people to mess it up for like everybody else. Because I know Rashana, she's selling to these young girls. They're moving in, they're house hacking, they're landlords, they're getting equity. So it's like there's people who get it and they want to do great things, and so we got to kind of help them despite the idiots who were trying to mess it up for everybody.
Yeah, she the example. I mean, I think we all examples. Like have you ever read The Superior Man? Or The Way of the Superior Man?
I've kind of skimmed it. I haven't actually read it.
Okay. Well, it's a part in there that speaks about like a man, he would be satisfied with life. And if you knew you was gonna die the next day, you would be satisfied and you wouldn't try to rush to do anything after you find your gift and you're able to give your gift to the world daily. So I think my gift is being an example to other people that look like me. You ain't got to do the normal stuff that we get presented all the time. I mean, the only reason I really even wanted to go to college is it allowed me to keep playing ball. And, if you do your work enough to stay on the field, you eventually graduate. So it's like I tricked myself and then I ended up learning more about myself.
I kind of stayed in school because I wanted to be involved in Greek life because that was lit.
I ain't had no time. People ask that all the time, like, why you didn't do that? I ain't had no time. I was
Athletes
doing what I was
don't have time,
doing.
man.
Yeah,
especially
and
playing two
sports.
Yeah.
While everybody was in Miami, I was in the middle of Selma, Alabama, playing baseball on spring break. That was my spring break.
So the trucks. When did you start getting into trucking?
Wait.
Yeah. I can't say. There is a lot to talk about for real estate. So
yeah, we got to talk about this new development. So let's talk about this new development because I'm excited to hear. Like, we talk about rental properties and flipping properties, and we don't often get someone on the show who's doing new construction. And so I'm curious as to, first of all, what made you get into new construction, right? And then where are you in the process? And, just anything you've learned along the way, challenges, what are you finding out? All that good stuff.
So all 3 pieces of land were purchased last year. 2 of them are going through permitting. 1 of them I'm holding. I got the surveys done on all of them already. I need to get the drawings on the last one. I haven't started, but what I've learned. Oh, hold on. You said you want to know why I'm going in that direction. It usually brings the highest return. So it's a money play. And also, if you own land, even if I never build on that piece of land, people need to understand land is something that can never be recreated. Pops told me that a minute ago. You can make everything else, land and water. Land and water. You can't remake it. If it leaves or everybody use it up, that's it. So I bought this land. One of them, this lot is in a neighborhood that's up the street from my parents' house where they currently live. One is in Grant Park, which is, it's funny. I used to spend my summers there. My great aunt lived there. That neighborhood is called Summerhill. If you're familiar with Atlanta or the Braves, that's where the old stadium was, in the Summerhill neighborhood. And the other lot is off Cascade, which is down the street from the West End by Morehouse. So it's those 3 lots. I was attracted to those 3 lots. Also, once again, it comes back to money. I see what's going on. I see flips are going fast. People spend more money for new builds anyway. So hey, get this lot. Even if you don't build right now, you still own it. Just pay the taxes. When you get the money, you know, I got these flips going. When I get the money from there, I can use that land as collateral and probably don't have to put nothing down to get the house built because I own the land.
Yeah.
I love it.
The ROI on new build is beating the flip.
Definitely.
Really?
I don't know the percentages, but yeah, it is.
You wouldn't think that. People would think like, oh, I'm saving money by buying the house and then renovating it as opposed to just building the entire project.
But here's the thing, you already cashed out on the land,
right?
Especially if you financing it. You cash out on the land, you can use that land, sell it back to the people that's going to give you the money. Then they give you the money to actually build a house.
That makes sense.
I mean, you might have to come up with some closing costs, but shit, what's that to build a whole house?
Yeah. True that. And then you could just get a construction loan, you know?
Correct. But that's what I'm saying. The land is your down payment for the construction loan.
Right. So you will subordinate the land to the construction loan financing. Correct. As collateral for the loan. So it's like a free project. You just buy the land. That's genius. I got some land I need to do that on.
Oh, now you glad we went back to that question, huh?
That's killing it. Other 2 flips, what are the margins and what's the strategy on those?
Okay. So the one that I don't know if y'all been on my IG. Should I give out the IG name?
Yeah, do that.
Yeah. Mike Lara 404. I can get into that where I got that name from as well.
Do that too, man.
We go stick on the flip. Bought that in December of 2019. And the crash happened. The crash happened. My contractor at that time, we were going back and forth with the city because everybody started working from home, right? And Atlanta be on some BS. I don't know how it is for getting permits, up in Chicago with people working from home, but they are some assholes. And they like real tedious and they want to go back and forth with you about like the same stuff y'all emailed me last week or 2 weeks ago. So if they tell you to make a correction on something, like if it's something on the survey they don't like, it's gonna take you like 2 or 3 weeks to get back to them instead of back in the good old days where you can actually go down and be like, hey, you need me to change this? And I come back the next day and show it to you. I don't know who's holding people accountable, but it's horrible right now. And it's an issue that we're facing. I don't know if other people are going through this. When I say other people, I mean like other people with different skin colors. Because I see them building up houses all the time. But, maybe I'm thinking too much into it.
They be in different rooms having these conversations,
Yeah, but they be like, hey,
rooms.
I know such and such. I can get him to do you a favor. It's probably things like that go on.
But Atlanta is lit, man. It didn't turn down at all for the panini.
Nah. The only thing slowed down was construction.
Oh, everything else was turned up.
Everything went up. The clubs, the wood prices, all that.
The wood clubs and the wood prices. And the demand for housing. So
man,
on average, there is 4 million homes that are missing from the U.S. market right now. 4 million homes on average.
How are they missing? What does that even mean?
Yeah, what do you mean missing?
So what that means is that this time last year there was 4 million more homes on the market than there are today.
Got it.
Spending that money.
I'm sorry. I guess I said y'all like, where did they go? They all in forbearance. But
they probably
right, no, real talk. And so I read an article saying that obviously I'm in real estate, so I can experience it and attest to it firsthand, right? The effect of supply and demand. But they also say that, builders aren't building quick enough, right? Developers aren't developing quick enough. But by this being a seller's market, there's a lot of people that are frustrated at the way that the prices are going up. And initially I was frustrated, I'm not gonna lie. But I also just felt like, you know what, if you can't beat them, join them. So in a seller's market, become a seller, right? So if you're, flipping more and then eventually you get into development, I think it's a great move. I think it's a very smart move.
I'm seeing put it like this. So the house that we're doing now, it's probably, I say like 45 to 50% done. So meaning we don't have the windows in, meaning there's no siding. It's wrapped and everything, ready for the siding. There's no back door or side door. There's a front door. I told this lady, 425. She was just walking up the street. She said, I've been looking at it since you started. I gave the lady my number. This lady texts me. I got home later that day. She texts me and said, I already talked to my lender and my agent. We ready to write an offer. I'm like, you don't even know what color we painting the house or anything. And it's funny, my contractor, sometimes we be like, man, she just talking. Now, this lady is serious. She just texted me earlier this week and asked me the same thing. And I told her I need to look at the market because 425, that's the original price I thought we could sell it. Now I'm thinking like 580. I mean, I'm sorry, not 580, like 480. About 480. And I can only imagine when one of these new constructions start or this other flips gets done. The other one, I'm waiting on the permit. It should have been done in October and sold by, they stopped us in October. It should have been sold by December. But I've been waiting for a survey. Well, the survey they got done on it, they didn't like it because they didn't think this particular house had all this land with it. So we basically had to prove that the land was ours.
So what do you do in a situation like that where somebody wants to lock in a house for a price that you think is below what it could be worth? Is it still a way to make that deal?
You got to ask her.
Yeah, that's a
I'm in a position.
question,
I want to put it on the market because that's what I told her. I'm gonna put it on the market and let's see.
That makes sense.
But I'll take the offer.
I like that idea.
I agree.
I want to see the lady get it too, because she's black, and
but I think that's
moving back in these neighborhoods.
That's the thing, right? When it comes to ownership, and that's why ownership is so important because ownership gives you choices. And I mean, as an owner, right, you can choose your buyer, right? So
they do.
You can choose your buyer. So but at the same time, this is an opportunity that we've never experienced in our lifetime, right? So, I mean, I can understand wanting to cash out too, all the way out. So, it's like put it on the market and let the market determine. But you don't even know, where her buying power is. Even if she's like, okay, I'm ready at 425, she might be approved at 550.
Yeah, and then that's the thing. I really want her to get it. So when we get like closer to the finish line, if she's gonna sell at the price that where we're gonna start off on the market, she can have it.
Boom. There it is.
Yeah, she can have it. But also at the same time, down here it's so competitive. Like people making cash offers for that. And then they'll come back and refinance and pull the money back out. Like, I don't know where these folks getting this money from down here, but it's crazy.
It's interesting because Atlanta used to be a very affordable market. And now it's losing that aspect.
It did.
The Olympics messed that up.
Really?
Yes, the Olympics
and
here.
And the new stadium.
A lot of people moved. And Freaknik.
And Greek weekend and everything else.
Yeah, all that. It messed it up, man. Folks come down here and find out this is. They call DC the chocolate city, right? Atlanta is. I mean, when it comes to black people, I feel like Atlanta has everything off in every avenue. I mean, even it's an old interview when Deion Sanders was coming out of college. He wanted to be drafted by the Falcons, so he can He came down here, ain't never seen black people riding around in Mercedes. He ain't never seen black doctors, black lawyers. That's what we do down here. We ain't got to speak about the culture like music and stuff, but I feel like we set a lot of trends when it comes to our culture in every avenue.
Yeah, I'll be in Atlanta in June, taking my son out there to see his family. Looking forward to that.
What part of Atlanta are they from?
I have family all over. I have family in I want to say Loganville. I have family in I have family in Stone Mountain. I want to say my dad lives in like Glenwood or Linwood, something like that.
Glenwood, that's where I'm from. That's the area that my parents' first house, that's the rental house now.
Yeah. And then my grandma lives in DeKalb County over by Columbia High School.
That's how Glenwood too. That's up the street from each other. I went to Southwest, that's our rival.
Okay. Yeah. I love Atlanta, man. I wish my wife would let me move there. Back when it was affordable, I was trying to get down there. It had homes for like 130.
I mean, but think about it. When it comes to other cities that's moving at a fast pace, Atlanta is still very affordable, and that's why the prices will keep going up. You ain't go like Miami, okay? That's the only city in the South that's better than Atlanta. That's because they got a freaking ocean. If Atlanta had an ocean, just imagine what it would look like.
Right. It'd be crazy.
It'd be crazy. It's already crazy on the average weekend here.
We only have a few more minutes, but I still want to talk about the trucks if Rashana will allow.
Of course.
Yeah. She give us the okay, we can do it.
So when did you get into trucking, and how did that start look?
Trucking, it was, okay, so I have a cousin that's been in trucking for like 30 years, right? He introduced the idea to me. This was after the rental car thing. I mean, not after the rental car. This was after I had got my first rental property. And he just went over the numbers. And at that time, he was going over the road and with refrigerated trailers, bringing seafood from the East Coast out to the West and bringing vegetables and produce back to the East Coast. He showed me those numbers. I did the math. Hey, you didn't need any more convincing. And he introduced the way for me to get into it. He had his own authority. It would be like a situation where I go get my first truck, put the down payment down, right? And you let the truck pay for itself. Right, a lot of people, once again, make the mistake of thinking you have to have all the money. But that ended up going south. I don't know if you've seen it, but I posted this thing today. It was like, I don't care, how good the business is. I mean, basically, I'm not trying to do business with family, because I learned that from that situation, you don't want stuff to go bad with your family.
Yeah.
Unless it's like on some do or die situation where they really need you to do something for them, I'm not doing business with family.
Because you start mixing money and money gets emotional.
Yeah, and it's different because it's like, bro, I don't want you to try me because you think we're related and I won't do something to you, feel me? So that's why I don't want to deal with family.
So are you still in the trucking business, or you're washing your hands
of
that?
No, I'm still in the trucking business.
How many trucks do you have right now?
I have two. I have two right now. About to get a third one. Then my fiance is about to get one as well. But I'm still involved with it, but I just had to learn how to do it my way, or the way I want to do it. So basically what I do now is lease my trucks out to a company. They pay for tags, they pay for your insurance. Basically the only thing I'm responsible for is maintenance on my truck and paying my driver for my settlement every week. They cover everything else. And I got to pay for my parking spots.
What's the name of the company? You're not supposed to ask questions like, well, so it's like a 3PL, right?
We do shipping containers.
So you lease on to a logistics company?
Yes.
Interesting. You have to hire the driver though, right?
Yes. And it's an easy way a lot of people say they have problems with doing that, but it's a cheat code to that. All I do is go take other people's ads and change the words around to what I want to say. And then I let the company that my truck is signed on do the interviewing. It's that easy.
That's the way you should do it. Let them do the interviewing. So you get the leads, pass it on to them. Like, hey, I got a lead. They call them up.
And
They do
that
the whole
drug test, all that training. I don't do nothing
yeah.
until they tell me, all right, cool, your driver, he good to go, or he or she, because I got a female and a male. Like,
in terms of insurance, do you have Bobcat insurance or do you have actual insurance?
I have nothing.
What?
They pay for that. Insurance was with them. They insure the truck fully. It comes out of your settlement weekly.
It's like
I had to
off.
get bobtail. Yeah, I got like a 10-day insurance plan to get my truck to my yard. That was it.
Right. So
other than that, nope.
How do you go about leasing onto a company? Do you just call them up and say, hey, I got a truck, I want to lease on?
You have to find companies that are taking on that do that. Okay, so I am what you consider a fleet owner, meaning I don't have a CDL, I don't do anything. I just have the truck. Okay, then you have owner operators. Those are people that have their CDL and their own truck, but they need a company to run up under because they might not have their own authority. So you can go on what's the thing where you go in there and look for jobs?
Like
the website or the app.
Go what is it? Go Trucking or something, or trucking.com?
I mean, I wouldn't even say that. No, just the thing
board
where you can look for jobs at any.
Oh, like Indeed, Craigslist.
Indeed.
That's what I was Indeed,
Craigslist. You can go on there and type in fleet owner. Every company that has an ad up will pop up. If you want to be somebody like me that just owns the truck and don't do nothing else but pay people.
That's what I'm trying to be. It's just really hard, man. I've been trying to do that for 6 months.
How is it so hard? You own a car?
I think it's in California, but
do you own a car?
Yeah.
So what's so hard about you owning a truck? It's the same money.
It's finding the driver, man. And then all the steps in place, and like you got to get this doc and that doc.
He got the truck already. He bought the truck 6 months ago. It's just been sitting in the yard.
Oh, did you go get a tag yet?
Yeah, I got the license plate, I got the tags, I got the IFTA, I got the. It's in Ontario. It's in Ontario,
bro.
California.
If you can somehow get that truck down here to either Ohio or Georgia, like I will personally show you. It's only gonna take you like 20 minutes to do everything in the picture.
Maybe I'm making more
so serious. But that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have enough people that look like us in our neighborhoods or our uncles or family members or anybody just to sit down and tell you, like, bro, don't overthink this shit. It's simple. And that's, you know, this is a trial and error with me, but that's why I try to talk to people. I give folks free game. Folks be like, why don't you charge people? I'm like, bro, shit, I'm not depending on that. You feel me? And then if you gave 100 people, I had a free real estate class. If you gave 100 people free game, right? How many of them really gonna follow through with it?
10%, maybe less.
Exactly. And I can tell them how to make $1 million the next day. Only 10% gonna follow through. I didn't did my job as far as giving back and being a blessing to somebody else. And your job as a human being is you're supposed to at least change one person's life before you leave this earth. So
yeah.
Boom.
We'll have that conversation. So we're gonna wrap. We gotta ask you the last few questions. Before we do, can you briefly tell us what the name Mike Lowry means?
All right, so I play outside linebacker. That's the young Mike Lowry up on the wall right there. My football accolades and baseball stuff. But I play outside linebacker, and we called ourselves the Bad Boys as far as the linebacker group. And my other dude that started next to me, Lance, he was Marcus because I was the guy that had the girls and all that stuff going on at that time. So, of course, Mike Lowry stuck with me more natural than it did with him. And that's where Mike Lowry was born from. Then now I got like convertible cars and stuff now, so it's funny. But I can't do the stuff I used to do now.
You walk into the names that you call yourself, man.
Yeah, I gotta change that then. I gotta change that, you know.
I got a fiance now. Can't be Mark Larry.
Oh, shout out to Wise, man.
Yeah, you
All
got
right.
a good one. Shout out to them folks.
Yep.
A good one.
And to the potential Wise. And so, who is somebody that you look up to and why?
Look up Nipsey Hussle. That's my guy. Just due to, I feel like he's the only rapper that could have communicated with a dude that's on the street level that probably wouldn't understand like terms from real estate or doing business deals that they can understand it and eventually try to be legit. He was the only rapper that ever do that. And then it was more than just him talking. The dude actually had shit going on too. That's why I respect him so much.
Yeah.
And it's just sad the way he was taken away from us. I mean, he was taken away from us because he didn't switch up. You know, a lot of folks get money and switch up and don't even be in they place no more. And it's sad that's why he's not with us anymore, because he didn't switch up. He kept his money in his neighborhood. And he got killed in his neighborhood.
All right. The next question is, what's your favorite real estate or business book?
I would say The Memo. Or
The Memo.
The Memo or Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice.
Okay.
I never heard of The Memo. Who's that by?
Shit, man, I ain't gonna lie to you. I don't know. It's a black dude though. Yeah. It's like
definitely read Think and Grow Rich, a Black Choice. That's a classic. I feel like that book should be required reading. Do they make you read those books at Morehouse? Like, are there certain required readings or just recommended readings? You just pace up yourself?
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's when I was doing stuff I wasn't supposed to be doing. So me getting through college, sometimes I don't know how it happened. You know, it's a blessing. But no, it wasn't like books that you were required to read, but they just pushed the knowledge or just casual conversation of knowing who you are. But the books and all that really happened like in the last few years of me starting to read all these books.
What does wealth mean to you?
Power, and it means my time. A lot of people on this planet, especially in this country, we trade money for time. And I'd rather have the time. So if you got the money, you can buy yourself time.
Right. These days, if money is attached to time, I hate that kind of money because it's limited, man. Once you do really right, it's like I was able to do pretty well, and I realized something. I realized like I don't want to do anything that requires me to be present because I didn't make the money by being present, and so like logically, I just avoid anything that looks like that. So much so that it's like I'd rather just sell off that side of the business so I can focus on the things that make money without my presence. For the listeners, that is.
Everybody should make money without their presence. Everybody. I don't care if you got a job, because I can't sit up here and down for all the folks. Like, I can't look down on people that work 9 to 5, and some people will retire doing it. That's just how the world is designed. But everybody can have their money making money while they sleep. Feel me? Like, so I got cars that I rent out. It's funny, that's my first job was renting cars to people. Now I actually rent them from my house. And I don't know, it's something about waking up and you have money being made while you sleep. Yeah. There's nothing better than money just coming to you for no reason, just because you woke up and you saw it come in.
So you got trucks, rental cars, rental properties, flips. Are we missing anything?
The clothing line.
Clothing line. What's the clothing line called?
Real estate trapper apparel.
Real estate. I saw the shirt. Yeah. We'll tell people where to find that. We'll definitely have the links in the bio and the show notes rather.
Really appreciate that. It's doing real well too.
Really?
Yes.
Last question. Oh, what's the idea behind it? Let's talk about it.
I mean, you know what we speaking on? We spoke about all of us being examples, right? Okay. So the word trapper is really associated with something negative in our community, correct? Like it's a drug dealer. So I wanted to give it something positive due to the fact that a trapper can be somebody that sells hair bones, especially being down here in Atlanta, or just being a hustler, selling purses, cologne, whatever you do. It can be something, it's just a hustler that's committed and determined. So we go make it something positive and show, hey, the same mind frame that it take to play around in the streets, it really take that to flip these houses too.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's just another avenue.
Last question is Rashana. Do you know the question?
I do. Oh yes, I do. So, what sets apart successful investors and fleet owners from those who give up, fail, or never get started?
Well, you gave the answer. You can't give up. Cause this, like you said, man, this shit ain't sweet. Y'all see on IG folks at the closing table and these checks that's being wrote. Y'all don't see all the downfalls to it. So you can't give up. It's a interview that Nipsey did was talking about you got to be willing to die for this shit, and that's like what you believe in. So it's the same way with you getting into these houses. Cause shit, you really can go broke, especially as your first one. And that's basically you putting your life on the line. So you can't give up. You got to keep going and finish whatever you start.
Yeah. I think we need to create like a new segment of the show called Share Your L's, because I feel like
that's real. Folks need to talk about that.
we got to talk about the L's, man, because people are still persevering through the L's. Just on Instagram, we never talk about those L's. And so you'll be like me sitting on a truck for 6 months. All right, Rashana talks about her L's, but most people on these too. most of these podcasts is just like talking about the high points, and people got to realize that you got to take the highs with the lows and keep on going, which speaks to his last answer to the question, which is you can't give up, man. You can't. And I think the same Masika Kalisha said the same thing. She was like, you just can't give up. You got to keep going. Like success, fail, keep going because you're committed to the larger vision. So where can people find you? Where can they follow you? And where can they support what you have going on?
You can follow my IG. It's Michael Lowry 404. Then you will find the clothing line attached to it, the real estate trapper apparel. That's the clothing line. And then the website has actually been launched, but it says sold out there. But it says the website is shoprealestatetrapperapparel.com.
Dope. So thank you for coming on the show. We will definitely have all his links, all his social media inside of the show notes. If you want to find him, he just gave you the information. We're going to keep bringing this content. I'm trying to do 2 episodes a week, if not more, because we got to pick up the pace. People have set the bar very high for these podcasts. And me being a competitor, I got to compete. So we're going to run it up, which means the good thing for the listeners is they get to get more quality content more frequently. So with that, this is the Oglesby and Scott Show. This is episode 177. Shout out to Donna the Voice. Do your magic and also kick me that royalty fee for all the promo that we give you with Rashana Scott, the Realtor of the Year. Signing off. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
Hey, no problem.
Have a good night.
All right, man.
All right, y'all.
I just followed you.
Cool.
Oh, yeah. I might slide in your DMs. I need to know about this fleet owner stuff. We might need to schedule a conference call, Charles.
Hey, man, y'all let me know.
I'm gonna send Flipping the Hills trucking down to Atlanta.
Hey,
get you some trucks and let y'all go ahead and. Oh, we didn't talk about the numbers.
All right, put it like this. I can keep it real simple. What do you want to make a month from a house as far as rental property?
No, I'm in trucking.
That's what I'm asking you. This is going to lead to trucking.
What I want to make from a house?
It's usually like $200 a door. $200-$300 a door.
Okay. All right. So my driver goes from Fairburn to Lynette, Alabama 3 times a day, 5 times a week. I profit anywhere from $1,000 to $1,300 every week off of one driver.
Wow.
And you can have 2 drivers in one truck, one running during the day, one running at night. So you'll be making between 2,000 and 2,600 off one truck every single week.
A week.
I never thought of that.
And
Yeah.
that's after. So that's
After
net.
all deductions. The check
So-
will be somewhere, the whole check, you're probably looking at like anywhere with 3,000. So I just split it 50-50 with my drivers.
Mhm. Do you split it 50-50 after the cost, or do you split the gross number 50-50?
No,
Like
50-50
fuel.
after all deductions.
What do your deductions consist of?
Insurance for the tag, not insurance, paying for the tag, insurance for the truck, and gas deductions.
Okay.
So you get a gas card with the company too, so you ain't got to start off with that.
That's why I'd be like, man, I'm tired of rental properties. I'm trying to get out of rental properties.
Now, it will be some downfalls. I ain't gonna act like that's sweet either. Because the thing about these trucks, when something
break down.
happens, it's gonna cost you. But that's why you do these short trips like I'm doing. It's less wear and tear on the truck.
I knew there was people keep telling me you can't make no money local. You got to make it over the road. It didn't make no sense to me. I'm like, it doesn't. Everybody is not going over the road. So obviously there are other.
It's so much money out here. Folks is doing containers. They hook and drop and keep going. And then if you get with a company that's plugged in with Amazon, it's so many possibilities.
Yeah. I will say though, you've been doing how long have you been in trucking?
Oh, 2 years.
I think longevity matters.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure you learned some things over the course of that time. So I'm not completely stupid. I can figure this trucking thing out.
Look, man, I'm gonna give you the game plan. You can do whatever you want to do with it, and just keep moving.
Cool. All right, man. We actually have another show lined up, but I appreciate your time, and we'll definitely get you all the links and the images once the show is live.
Cool.
Have a good night.
All right, y'all have a good night.
Bye.